It would be win number 3 against the AP Top 10 in the season sweep of the West Virginia Mountaineers, who, by the way, were not playing without their leading scorer for most of the game and their third leading scorer as well. Isaiah Taylor, Javon Falik, so good against his Bob Huggins press in the first matchup in Morgantown, but not so much early on in this case.
No, they didn't. West Virginia came out and they punched first, and Texas was on the ropes. Then they got a timeout and they said, hey, let's calm down a little bit, which they did, and they responded in the right way. But early, it didn't look very good, Lowell.
And this is Jayshawn Page, which does not look very good for West Virginia. One of their top players goes down holding that right ankle, missed most of the first half with a little ice on the foot. Actually, a lot of ice on the foot. So Texas is trying to take advantage of that. Eric Davis was taking advantage of all opportunities to shoot the rock, and from three-point range, he was perfect in the first half, 4 of 4.
Yeah, he was. And defense to offense, Davis came in and he added an extra spark after Roach gave a little bit of a spark. And I thought, look at the jab step. Oh, Lowell, that's hard to do.
No, but this is the most impressive part. What just happened?
Devin Mack passed up a 3.
What? I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
Devin Mack, the MVP for passing it to Eric Davis there. Texas hit their final 7 shots from the field to end the first half, and it continues in the second half with Connor Lambert.
Yeah, and Davis ignited fire amongst this team. They were getting it from everywhere. Look at Lambert. No hesitation and throws it up. But guess what? The little man.
Working the offensive glass.
Yeah, he gets the rebound and even gets the punches in the chest. These guys are just having fun, and they're doing it with a lot of confidence.
Whoa, Shaq Claire, nice move. Doesn't get it to go. Lambert, though, is going to collect himself.
Don't leave him.
Oh, yeah. The lefty from San Antonio putting it down, 3 of 6 from the outside. That lead continues to bloom. Devin Mack not passing that one up. And as you see there, it's a 15-point lead for the Longhorns. 8.5 minutes to go. West Virginia.
Attack.
In scrambling mode. Well, look out for the big fella, Prince Ebay. How about the block and the technical foul he also picked up at the beginning of the game? Prince came out ready to play, and his performance a lot better than his box score would say.
And I would even argue he had the biggest impact on the game because the little guys for West Virginia didn't get hardly anything around the basket.
Tevin Mack off balance, gets that one to go. And Texas, they're in control, right? This one's over. Well, not so much. 2 minutes left. It's a 12-point lead, and we are down to single digits. What did you think about West Virginia and the way they got back into this game?
Well, this is emblematic of what this team is. There's Philippe from deep with the 3. This team's going to fight you to the end. They're a top 10 team for a reason, and that's because they compete for 40 minutes.
They were able to get it within 5, an opportunity to peck away a little closer there, but West Virginia cannot convert on that offensive rebound where they do so much of their damage. However, it's Texas not really dealing a devastating blow to West Virginia in their tournament hopes, because that is a tournament team, but really doing more work to bolster the Texas tournament chances with number 3 in terms of win number 3 against the AP Top 10. Looking good for that NCAA tournament. And how about the performance of Isaiah Taylor? Was 0 for 8 shooting against the Mountaineers in Morgantown. In this game, 5 of 12, 23 points, 7 assists, and 3 turnovers. You're not going to find a lot of point guards in America that will go up against West Virginia and in 2 games have 10 assists and only 3 turnovers. But Miles Simon found him. Isaiah Taylor.
Isaiah, you guys are able to knock off this West Virginia team for the 2nd time this year. What's the key to handling their pressure? Because you guys have done it great in both matchups.
Just to be tough. We play with aggressive, confident, and loose mindset out on the court. I think just to start the first half, just start the game, we came out a little jittery, and then we got it under control. We were aggressive, and I think that's what put us over the top today.
Coming off a 2-game losing streak, what was Coach emphasizing to you coming into tonight's game, to you and the team, that you guys needed to do?
Just to be a leader, to be a catalyst out there, just to have everybody with enthusiasm and energy coming out in today's game.
Thanks, Isaiah. Eric, in the first half, you were able to knock down 4 3-point shots. You had been struggling from behind the arc in the last few games. What was the difference in you making those shots tonight?
Coach was just telling me to stay confident at all times. You know, my teammates put me in really good position, and I got some open looks, and I was shooting them with confidence.
Why are you guys able to be so successful against the West Virginia pressure?
We just stuck to our plan. We were confident. We got some great ball handlers, and we just got some great guards overall.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And we now welcome in the head coach of Texas men's basketball, Shaka Smart. Shaka, if you've watched you for any amount of time, we know you're an excitable person. You had some mojo, some juice after that win. It looked like maybe there was something special about this one. What was that for you?
I can't tell you the whole story behind it, but it was a game that our team really, really wanted to win. And there was a lot that went into this game. We have a ton of respect for West Virginia and the way they play. And I can't say enough about the way our guys handled their defense, because it's tough to handle.
Well, we saw in the first, it seemed about 5 minutes or so that they were getting to you a little bit. Had some of those turnovers in the first 3 minutes, 40 seconds, I think 3 turnovers. But then it looked like you figured out what happened against that press.
Well, I think what we did is we ramped up our aggressiveness. When you're playing against West Virginia, if you allow them to be the more aggressive team, then you're really in trouble, particularly against the full court press. But I thought our guys did a nice job settling in and attacking it, and we didn't have many turnovers the rest of the way.
And then you get to the final stretch run, final 4 minutes or so, that lead balloons to 16. They get it down to 5. But at the same time, you do close it out against a top 10 opponent. How do you feel like your team handled the late game situations?
Well, West Virginia is a team that's never going to stop fighting. They're going to play till the final buzzer, and, they hit a couple threes there, and obviously we're going to watch the tape and see what we can do better there. But I thought our guys had really good composure. We made our free throws, which was huge, and that's what allowed us to win.
The best way I can describe Eric Davis's performance is he was so good that Tevin Mack passed up an open 3 to feed Davis near the end of the first half. That was pretty unbelievable there. How important was that run that was sparked by Eric Davis?
He's playing well when Tevin gives one up and hits it.
Yeah.
But those guys have good connectivity out there on the floor, and I'm just really happy for Eric the way that he played, because, number one, it gave us a huge lift, and then the second thing is he'd been struggling a little bit. His confidence was a bit shaken, but you know what he did? He got extra work in after practice yesterday. He got extra work in after practice on Sunday, and it's paid off.
You said a day ago you want to see a little more activity from your defense, wanted to see more deflection specifically. How'd the defense look in that regard tonight?
Well, it's an interesting game, because I thought, in the first half, neither team could really miss. And then in the second half, the pace got going a little bit, but neither team shot it as well. But I thought our guys played with really good aggressiveness and intensity on the defensive end. West Virginia's a tough team, and they're really big and strong and aggressive on the glass. Our guys hung in there.
Coach Smart, congratulations. Look forward to seeing you later this week on Game Plan. Appreciate the time.
I'm excited about it, man.